So we came to know about the discovery of Harappan civilization. Now we will study regarding the sources of Harappan civilization, how we came to know or how we had the knowledge of Harappan civilization. The knowledge of Harappan civilization was based entirely on the archaeological remains. Archaeological remains means these buildings, pottery, the buildings that were discovered in that particular Harappan site, the pots that were discovered, the sculptures, seals, and cemeteries. Cemeteries are the burial grounds. So these are the archaeological remains from which we get the information or from which we get the knowledge of Harappan civilization. We have only these archaeological remains as the source of knowledge of Harappan civilization. We don't have any kind of written script regarding Harappan civilization. We don't have any kind of written script. Written scripts are not available. So we get information only from these archaeological remains. So now we will study all these archaeological remains in details. So first is the Great Bath. This is very important from your exam point of view also, the Great Bath. So we will study the structure of the Great Bath, how this Great Bath was made. The Great Bath is one of the largest public buildings at Mohenjo-daro. A very important public building that was ever discovered was the Great Bath. And this is the structure of Great Bath, how it looked like. You can see the picture over here given, the Great Bath. It is some kind of rectangular tank, you can see, with staircases on both sides. So this is the picture of a Great Bath. It was discovered, the most very important public building. It has a large rectangular tank in a courtyard surrounded by a corridor on all four sides. If you see all the four sides of the tank, it is surrounded by surrounded by corridor on all four sides. There are two flight of steps, on one in the north and the other in the south. As I have shown you, there were two flight of steps on two sides of the tank. That is one towards north and another towards south. To make the pool watertight, since it is a kind of swimming pool, so in order to make it watertight, these were the materials that were used, that is burnt bricks and mortar lined with bitumen and gypsum. So this was the material that was used to make the pool watertight. The water for the bath was provided by a well in an adjacent room. Attached to this Great Bath, there was a room, and in that room one well was there. From that the water was connected. There was connection to the tank, and water was provided from that well to the tank. So the water for the bath was provided by a well in an adjacent room. Surrounding the bath were porticos and sets of rooms and a stairway which led to an upper story. So surrounding this tank or surrounding this bath were porticos and some sets of rooms and a stairway. It is still not discovered why these rooms were used. So historians, they have different views regarding the usage of these rooms. Like some historians told it was used for they were used for changing clothes, and some historians told that those rooms were used by some kind of priesthood. So there is controversy regarding the usage of those rooms. Now we will study regarding the significance of Great Bath. This is also an important question from your exam point of view, the significance of Great Bath. The construction of the Great Bath indicates that the art of building had reached a high degree of perfection at that time. The entire construction of the Great Bath was so good, or you can say it was so much perfect, that from the structure itself we come to know that the art of construction or the art of building had reached a high degree of perfection at that time. Second significance is the massive structure points out that there might have existed a ruling class that could mobilize labor. Obviously, such a massive structure cannot be made by one single person. There were laborers who worked in making this massive structure, and these laborers were mobilized by some kind of ruling class. So this second point emphasizes on the existence of a ruling class that mobilized the labor in construction of such a massive structure. And collect taxes and build such a huge structure for the public. So from this massive structure we come to know that ruling class existed, that not only mobilized the labor but also collected taxes in order to make such a massive structure. So this is the second significance. First is high degree of the art of building reached high degree of perfection. Second is existence of a ruling class. Third significance is most of the scholars agree that the Great Bath might have been used for religious purposes. Still there is a controversy on why this Great Bath was used, but many of the scholars, they believe that this Great Bath was used for some kind of religious purpose, for some kind of religious bathing. Like during the ceremonies or during the festivals, this particular tank was used for ceremonial bathing. Then the fourth significance is the design of the Great Bath portrays the efficient planning in the structural features relating to water supply and sewage disposal. The design of the Great Bath was so much perfect. The design of the Great Bath was already we studied, it reached such a high degree of perfection that there was perfect structure for water supply as well as sewage disposal. There was perfect construction of the bath in such a way, the bath was constructed in such a way that it was in a planned manner, that there were structural features which show us water supply as well as sewage disposal. So these were the 4 points that tells us regarding the significance of this Great Bath. So that was the first public building and the most important public building. Now the second is the Citadel. This is another important public building that existed in Harappan civilization. The raised area of each city was called the Citadel. This is another important feature of Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization, that their towns were divided into 2 parts. That was the Citadel and the lower town. The Citadel comprises of houses or residential areas for ruling class, priests, and it had all kind of, the Citadel had all kind of such kind of public buildings. And lower town comprises of dwelling houses for labor class or common people, you can say. So this was the most significant feature of Harappan civilization, that the towns were divided into high platform, and the high platform was called Citadel, and the lower platform, that was the lower town. So this is the Citadel. It was a raised area. It was made on a kind of high platform. It owed its height to the buildings constructed on mud brick platforms. As I told you, the Citadel, it was high. It was built on some kind of high platform, and that is why it is a raised area. The Citadel had the houses of the ruling class and important buildings like the Great Bath, the Granary, Assembly Hall and workshops. All kinds of public buildings were on this Citadel. The Citadel points to the elaborate planning that went into the development of cities and justifies that the Harappan civilization was an urban civilization. So because of this presence of Citadel, the Citadel points out that their planning was so elaborate, along with this Great Bath also that we studied now. Their elaborate planning justifies that Harappan civilization was urban civilization. Here we come to know this is a reason, or this is an evidence which shows us that Harappan civilization was an urban civilization, because of the presence of Citadel, which points out to the elaborate planning. Then next source that comes is the sills. These sills were, you can see the picture over here, the sills. The sills were specifically used for trading purposes, and about 2000 sills were discovered, and almost 2000 sills were discovered. The sills had many kind of pictures. All the sills, they had very different kind of pictures. You can find the pictures of like one-horned bull, buffalo, tiger, goat, elephant and rhinoceros. And the materials that were used to make these sills were terracotta, steatite, agate, etc. These were the materials. These were the materials that were used to make these seals. These seals were either rectangular or square in shape. The information that the seals provide us was about the script, trade, religion, and beliefs of the Harappans. So these were the information that the seals provided us. Seals of Pashupati, this is one of the most famous seals, that is seals of Pashupati, show that people believed in Shiva. Already we studied that seals provide us information regarding religion. How? Because of the discovery of seals of Pashupati. Seals of Pashupati shows us that people were devoted towards the Lord, that is Shiva, and this shows us their religious belief. It also shows a three-faced deity or god wearing a buffalo horn headdress, seated cross-legged on a throne and surrounded by an elephant, tiger, a buffalo, and a rhinoceros with two deer at his feet. So this was another seal that was discovered, and this deity has been identified as Pashupati Mahadeva. The deity that we studied here, that deity was a three-faced deity, and he was surrounded by all these kind of animals, and that deity was identified as Pashupati Mahadeva. Another religious belief that we came to know regarding Harappan civilization, that they worship Pashupati Mahadeva. Then another seal, that is unicorn seal, was also discovered. You can see the picture over here. This unicorn seal was also discovered, which shows us their mythical beliefs, that is their mythological belief. This unicorn seal shows us their mythological belief. The seals bear some kind of script which has not yet been deciphered. You can see some kind of writings over here. These are not any kind of design, but these are some kind of writings, and these writings are not deciphered yet. Once these writings get deciphered, we can come to know, or we can get more information regarding Harappan civilization. These writings are not yet been deciphered. Deciphered means what has been written in these pictures, we are unable to read that, or we are unable to study that. That is why we lack some kind of information regarding Harappan civilization. Once these writings get deciphered, we will get more and more information. The seals were used by traders. As I told you in the beginning, the seals were used mostly for trading purposes, and the traders used the seals to stamp their goods. What they used to do, they used, after a bag with goods was tied, a wet clay was pressed on the knot, and on that wet clay these seals were pressed. So what happens, whatever is the picture on the seal, it comes on this wet clay, and then these bags are traded to different countries. These seals were found in different regions. As I told you, these bags were traded to different countries. So these seals are not only found in Harappan civilization, there are many other countries where we find these kind of seals. So from that we come to know that Harappa had trade relations with other countries also.